Thank you, sir.
Yep.
You know, most of the board games down here we've never played.
Like on the show or like?
On the show. That actually sounds like a great idea. Bring people out here 1v1 and 1 Monopoly.
Yeah, just serious ass interview and then just take out like the last two towns.
No, I mean, we're going to play with the last two.
Oh, okay.
That was a great conversation we've had. Now, how are you at bingo?
Not very good.
Raffa Perez. Rafael Perez?
That's my name. Government name.
What
you
do you
can call me Rafa.
Rafa?
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Rafa.
Yeah. Pleasure to meet you, Sako.
Mechanical engineering, but with a focus on the craziest thing I've ever heard of.
Okay.
Which is the turbulent compressible mixing layer. What does that mean?
So that's just a very, very specific part of like a larger problem, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's basically just thermal fluids, but there's different kinds of mixing layers. Essentially, they happen when you have like two streams of fluids. Like you'll have like one stream on top and then another one traveling parallel to each other.
Okay.
Yeah, so at the interface in between, that's where you would have a mixing layer. Basically, my research is just on the turbulent, compressible, supersonic part. So we're talking about like supersonic speeds, so things going above the speed of sound.
Oh.
Yeah, you would essentially have like two streams traveling at above the speed of sound, and they start to create like a little wake region, and that's basically where.
Sorry, Rafa, I'm gonna have to stop you. I'm
Go
already
ahead.
confused.
Okay.
So, we like to keep it simple here.
Yeah.
Can you re-explain that like I'm the dumbest person you've ever met?
Uh-huh.
Because that makes sense. So
Okay.
you're doing thermal fluids.
Yes.
What's a thermal fluid?
It's just kind of a branch of mechanical engineering.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what classifies a thermal? Like, would my cup of water be a thermal fluid? Because it does thermals, so heat water.
I mean, yeah, you deal with water a lot in like thermal fluids. Depending on what you're trying to do with it, you can, I guess, do stuff with thermodynamics and say, oh, like even like with like at what point it would freeze, that would be considered thermal fluid. So if you have like this water at this like level of elevation, it would have like a certain freezing temperature. Or if you bring it to another elevation, it would have another like freezing temperature. So there's like a lot of stuff, but I guess like it's more like on what you're trying to accomplish that like you would be able to use what you would be able to use it for.
I think I get the vibe now. So
yeah,
thermal fluids is just the study of different fluids at different temperatures. So it's the fluids that can change temperature? Is that what it's about? I'm sorry, I know it must be very confusing talking to someone who has no idea what's going on. Go for it. If that makes sense.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Low-key?
Not too sure on the book definition, but
okay.
Yeah.
So let's say you're sitting there.
Mhm.
I'm your nephew.
Okay.
I'm 13 years old.
Uh-huh.
Rafa,
Yes.
what do you do?
I do mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineering.
Uh-huh.
So why did you go for a master's in mechanical engineering? Why are you a master of mechanical engineering? That's kind of cool.
So I went for engineering just because I liked cars. Coming out of high school, I was like, well, I want to make money.
Hell yeah.
I want to do something with cars. I like race cars. I like cars.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of just how I got into it. Started off just wanting to do something for, just make some cool stuff. But I got, as you get into like the engineering curriculum, you find out it's more than just working on cars,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like I talk to my family, everyone thinks I'm just a mechanic, and it's like, bro, like no.
Guys, I do math.
Yeah, literally. It's like some people don't ever even touch a car, but fortunately I do. But yeah, I just started off like trying to get into the automotive industry. But later on, I ended up finding out that like I like a lot of more of the like engineering side of things, and I wanted to do stuff with like propulsion.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like rockets?
Yeah, with rockets.
Oh, okay.
Rockets, even like air breathing engines, so like airplane engines, if that makes sense.
Air breathing. So what is that? What is an air breathing engine?
So like just like a jet engine is an air breathing engine, right? You put air, mix it with fuel, and then you would have essentially the boom.
Oh, that didn't come to me. So an engine that takes in air as one of its. Okay.
Yeah, because you also have like for example like rocket propulsion. That's like you don't have air in there. You would have like essentially like an oxidizer and some fuel, and then you mix the two, and then that's where you get the boom. But
so it's all internally done. There's no resources from outside coming in.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. Yeah, so an air breathing engine would be something like a jet engine, for example.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, scramjet, all that stuff.
Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned that. I have a great question for you later because I have no idea what that actually was, and I recently brought it up on a podcast episode and realized I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Nice.
But before we get to scramjets, what kind of research do you do? Like, what do you do as a master's in mechanical engineering?
Basically, my research was a lot of like numerical stuff. So usually you would have like your three like you would have like hand calculations, simulations, and then like your actual like real world experiments.
Mm-hmm.
But like a lot of that stuff is very expensive. But that's kind of like where this project like came from. Originally, one of my professors wanted to make like a actual apparatus to do experiments on, but you need some like preliminary data to be able to like make stuff like that. So cheaper way to go about that is to run simulations. So that's a lot of what I do. I do a lot of like computational fluid dynamics, which is CFD.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's like really broad, but there's a kind of simulation that I do, and it's called RANS. It's basically like the simplest version of that, of like all those
all the CFD models.
Yeah, of all the CFD types. But that's essentially where I started off, like modeling these compressible, the compressible turbulent shear layer. Yeah.
Well, what is a shear layer? Is that like where they just touch each other, or?
Yeah. So in the context of like what we're trying to do, it's like we're trying to like evaluate mixing between the two streams. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to see like how the two fluids essentially interact with each other. So you want to improve mixing in a lot of the things like scramjets, for example. Since you have stuff that like is moving really fast, you only have so much time and so much distance to be able to mix the streams as much as possible. So that is essentially what the my research is on.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you're basically working to improve supersonic flight?
Kind of, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. There's like reactive stuff and non-reactive stuff. I'm doing non-reactive stuff. So trying to improve the interactions between the molecules to be able to have the fluid mix a lot better.
Oh, so you can control that?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can like do that. There's people that do like active methods, which are like having like flaps and stuff moving, or like passive methods which are just like having like a little like stationary plate in between the two and then putting like serrations at the end. That way like it'll like generate turbulence as the fluid passes by. It'll like disturb it, and it'll
it's like a little spoon inside the fluid.
Yeah. Like on airplane wings, like they have something like that where it's like on the airplane wings on the top you would have like some little bumps to induce turbulence. Yeah.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah, you want the turbulence.
You want the turbulence on your wings.
No, on the wings too.
Why?
But I don't really remember the reason, but I think the reason for you wanting the turbulence on the wings is for the low pressure you want the boundary layer of the wing to stay attached to the wing. That way you would have you would essentially be able to like have a steeper angle at which you would fly.
Oh, so you can climb even
higher. Yeah, so you can have a steeper angle of attack, and you would delay essentially like a stall. So,
I mean, I heard stalling's pretty bad if you're in a plane.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's like suicidal if you stall in a plane.
Yeah, you're basically going down, like, and it's pretty hard to come out of it if that happens to you. But essentially, I think that's what it's intended to do. I think it's supposed to delay the stall and let you fly at steeper angles.
Shout out to those turbulent mixers, I guess.
Shout out to those engineers, man.
Dude, yeah, engineers are cool. I heard they're like the coolest people on earth. But that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I'm very interested into what your research is. But what if, right?
Right.
What if you were your professor and you were the one running the experiments? What would you do if I gave you infinite money right now and you could use anything in the world? What kind of research would you be interested in? What do you personally want to figure out?
I think all the experimental stuff is the coolest. So I think like first things first, like I would say, all right, let's actually build this thing and put together like a supersonic wind tunnel.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
That's what I would want to do. Yeah,
Okay.
and I have this that yeah, so that's kind of the whole goal of it. My goal was to get numbers to be able to eventually run experiments. So that would be the first part. I would just try to make something that is physical and like validate that.
Okay.
And then ideally run more stuff down
Maybe
the line.
get you a supersonic plane, you know?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. What comes after that? Like what would be the future research?
The future research, I would probably say something that's reactive. So like something that's like you would have two different gases that would want to, combust. So like maybe like air and like hydrogen or something.
Wait,
Then
mixing air and hydrogen, they want to explode together?
they're not gonna explode together, but like yeah, essentially have them like yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Like have them like ignite. That would be some pretty cool stuff. But
Okay, so that we want them to ignite.
yeah, we would want them to ignite in terms of like in the scenario of like a scramjet, you would want them to ignite because that's essentially what you have going on.
Well, okay, I'm so glad. What is a scramjet?
A scramjet is it's just a scramjet engine is basically a type of engine that doesn't have any moving parts. So you have enough pressure to not have to reduce the flow. So essentially, yeah,
Okay.
a regular airplane engine works by getting supersonic flow, slowing it down to subsonic, so below the speed of sound, mixing the air with the fuel, and then igniting that, and then ejecting it and having it go supersonic again. So with the scramjet engine, you don't have to go from subsonic to supersonic.
So you just let it come out in subsonic.
Yeah. So with the scramjet engine, you would feed the supersonic air into the engine, and it would stay supersonic, and then you mix another fuel with it, and then eject it, ignite it, and then eject it. Yeah. So this one that doesn't have any moving parts. It's just essentially like.
So it needs supersonic air in the beginning too.
Yeah. That's why a lot of these planes, like the supersonic, or not supersonic planes, but like the hypersonic stuff, like you can't just start off from from stationary to hypersonic.
Oh, the ones that they like drop from other planes.
Yeah, you have to like essentially taxi them. So you would have like something that goes crazy fast, and then you would have something that's hypersonic. The supersonic one would basically like cap out and fly at its fastest potential, just for the other one to barely be able to like start. Yeah, so it'd be wanting to stall, but like you drop it and then it goes.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah, it's really insane.
Yeah, it's I think like NASA's got like their X-50 or whatever. You know, that like weird X-shaped plane.
Yeah.
Would that be like an example of like one of those hypersonic planes or?
I think so. I haven't done too much research on them, but I think I think those are rocket propelled. They might be.
You got a legit rocket?
Yeah, I think so.
So what's the difference between a rocket and like a turbojet engine?
A turbojet. Well, like we said it earlier, it's just the rocket engine so a rocket engine would have everything on board. Like you're not taking in air from the atmosphere.
Oh, so that's the main difference.
Yeah.
It's like if you need air or not. That's what I guess the rocket just doesn't need anything else at all.
Yeah, because you would have like essentially just a bunch of like I guess liquid. You would have oxygen on board, just like straight up oxygen, not air, like oxygen, and then your fuel.
Like having nitro in your plane, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. While we're on the topic, how do rockets fly? Is it an explosion like shooting them upwards? What is going on?
Yeah, it's basically like a controlled explosion from my like limited knowledge. Yeah.
All right, so we need a doctorate to understand how rockets work, but that kind of makes sense why they call it rocket science.
Yeah. No, you have like one person working on like one part of the whole rocket, like or one part their whole life, So it's like
Damn, yeah.
it's the things that require PhDs and like like basically like an entire career designing just one thing to be able to understand
Sounds
everything.
like a super fun life.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
crazy.
it's definitely gonna be like you're gonna be like, I made that, and they're like, what'd you make? I made that exact one bolt on
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
That's pretty cool though. So
hmm
from what it looks like, a rocket or building something like a scramjet is a little more complicated than building a rocket engine, because it looks like rocket engines are just like piping two things together, make a spark, and then it's gone. But like with like an air breathing engine, right? That's what you call it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, an air breathing engine, like you gotta move it, you gotta mix it.
Mm.
That's a lot more parts, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it depends more on like the design, I guess.
It's
Yeah.
fair. Probably like a 1950s rocket's gonna be a little less complicated than like a jet turbine from now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like crazy stuff happening on both sides of the thing, but air breathing. Yeah, so scramjet engines actually have like more like a higher specific impulse than like a rocket engine.
What is a specific impulse?
I don't know. I forgot. I just
Oh,
remember reading
you don't
about
need the
it.
exact definition. What is the general idea of a specific impulse? Because I have no idea what you just said.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
You don't got one of those guys that like looks
No,
things up during the
we're low
podcast.
budget right now.
Oh, okay.
Our guy who does that is currently at a wedding.
Nice.
Is it a wedding? No, I think his brother-in-law is moving back into the country, but
Mhm.
that's besides the point. Okay, all right. I see you. You and your Mr. Rocketry. We'll figure out what specific impulse is another day.
All right.
I don't think it's very important. It doesn't sound that important.
I think it's pretty important, but
Oh.
yeah.
Okay, so you said you got into mechanical engineering because of cars, and you pulled up in a pretty cool like car guy car. Is that a 350Z?
That is a 350Z.
That's
It's a
pretty
clapped out 350Z.
Clapped out is the word I'd use. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So as a car enthusiast, can I call you a car enthusiast?
Yeah.
Is that the vibes?
I think so.
All right, cool. So as a car enthusiast, what kind of cars do you feel like are the most underappreciated as an engineer car enthusiast? I mean,
I think a lot of Japanese cars are pretty underappreciated.
how
Yeah.
so?
I don't know. It's just I'm always like the guy that like I like bang for buck.
Yeah.
They do a lot of cool stuff. Like I know like in when the Honda Civic Type R first came out over here like a couple years back, I think it had like a faster time than Porsche on the Nürburgring at some point.
Damn.
Yeah,
Really?
I think so at some point.
That's crazy. I've heard about that too, but like I thought people were just joking.
Uh-huh.
Cause like that's like a $60,000 car. If you max out the packages, it's better.
Yeah, no, that's all I'm saying. It's like half the price of a Porsche, but yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty sick having a really capable car for like half of the price point. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just really into like those Japanese cars, man.
Japanese cars are cool.
Yeah.
I think the ones that you can keep like the stock stuff basically, and then
Mhm.
modify it to be like an absolute monster is like one of the coolest like cars on the road.
Yeah.
But built, not bought. You know
Yeah,
that whole
yeah.
vibe. Now, because you're a super smart engineer, man. I need some car advice.
All right.
What kind of mods do I do with my... Let's say I got a 350 myself.
Okay.
You know what? I'm buying 370Z because I feel
All
like
right.
it's a little newer. You know, the infotainment's cooler.
Nice.
I don't know.
Okay.
What is my first mod? What should it be? How can I make sure I'm getting the most bang for my buck?
Well, if you're trying to go fast, it's probably build the engine if you want
Build
to.
the engine?
Yeah, if you want to do like just straight line, like go fast, I'd probably build the engine and then get some forced induction going.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
because is it naturally aspirated?
Yeah, they're naturally aspirated.
Damn, they're not even turboed in there that good.
Yeah, they're all right. They're pretty good for what they are. Yeah, a lot of the stuff that I want to do is like drifting. So I would want to like get an angle kit on there. But if you're just trying to chase like straight line power, I would probably get a turbo kit in there. build the engine, get some
Okay,
pull some
okay.
crazy numbers.
Let's say I'm just a regular guy. I like going to car meets.
Okay.
I can't drift because I suck and I'm too scared of crashing my car. I'm not doing straight line performance because I'm too scared of getting caught by the cops or going to a dedicated track for
Mm-hmm.
it. What would be like a cool mod for me to do for me to feel cooler in my car? Like, what's a vibe? What's the vibes?
I'd do coilovers.
Coilovers?
Yeah, man. They make the best. They make the most difference in terms of like handling. So you just like feel like you're driving a race car, but you could be going like 2 miles an hour. And
Really?
just, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So, sorry, what part of the car is the coilover?
So like typically cars come with like shocks and struts. Coilover is basically that, but you can
Oh, like
adjust
the
a lot of the
suspension
stuff.
area?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So like instead of like just having regular like shocks, you would have like the coilovers. You can adjust like damping, so it could be like a lot stiffer. It'll feel stiffer. Change
Race
the
car.
ride height. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I get where you're going with this.
Yeah, change ride height, lower your center of gravity, all that stuff.
It's a lot of words right there.
Yeah, man.
Okay, I got my coilovers. I got my car lowered, looking snazzy. What's next? What do I do? I want to sound cool, but I don't want to straight pipe my car. I feel like that's a little annoying.
Mm-hmm.
What would you recommend?
In California, I recommend staying stock so you don't get a state ref. But
Oh,
yeah, I mean, if you want to slap an exhaust on it, then yeah, sure, go ahead.
that's there.
Yeah,
I
man.
forgot we have laws that were against that. Huh?
Yeah.
Is there any like? Have you heard of aftermarket car exhausts that like are legal, or am I
Aftermarket.
have to stay exactly how the car came?
Aftermarket car exhausts are legal. I think in California you could modify anything after the catalytic converter.
Oh,
I think so.
okay. We
As
gotta
long as
search
you're
that up
not,
because that sounds pretty promising.
yeah, as long as you're not above like 95 decibels or something, I
That's
think
like
you should
really
be able.
quiet.
Yeah, I
I feel like
know.
I could yell louder than.
I think so too. Yeah, but yeah, I think as long as you're under 95, like you should be good. Like you shouldn't be like harassed too much.
Like max 95 or like idling at 95?
I think max 95. Yeah, because the way they test it, I know that if you get like a state ref, you would essentially like they would hold the microphone to your thing, like your tailpipe, like a certain distance away,
Uh-huh.
and have you rev it to like 3,000 RPM.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah,
I
so
know
then-
what level we got to go to to cheat the system, you know?
Yeah, you just flip a switch and have it go stock.
Yeah,
that'd be
the
cool.
valved exhausts.
Yeah.
That's the goal. That's the
Yeah.
dream.
Don't some of the Porsches have that too?
Yeah, yeah. All the BMWs, like the M's, have that as well.
Mm-hmm. It's California legal.
Yeah, yeah. They'll never know. I heard people get in trouble for like a race mode on their car,
Mm-hmm.
but like I came with the car.
Yeah.
Why did they get in trouble?
Yeah, I remember seeing this video of like some guy in a Veloster N who ended up getting caught in a league like just bone stock like Veloster N,
That's crazy.
and they give him a state ref for it too. And yeah, the cop was saying, "Oh yeah, you're gonna have to go get this checked. It's gonna be like $4,000 to I don't know, no, something like that." Yeah, but bone stock car.
That's insane.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't even enjoy your life. How am I supposed to be happy in a state that doesn't let me drive my own stock car? Those are loud though, no? They've got like lots of like attitude to them for such a small car.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what is that? Like a twin turbo V6 or something in there?
I think it's 4-cylinder.
There's a 4-cylinder.
I think it's a
in there?
4-cylinder. Yeah. But I'm gonna need a fact check on that.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks small, so it would be crazy if it had like a V6 in there. That was my like the
Mm-hmm.
dreaming type of
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
But
4-cylinder, definitely turboed. I could say that with confidence. So
yeah.
yeah. Well, yeah. They also came out. Yeah, dude. Those Korean companies are coming out with like really cool cars. There's another one. I forgot what the name of it was, but it's like a car that runs on hydrogen, and it looks super cool. It's like I guess it's supposed to look like an 80s car, so it kind of looks like a DeLorean, but it's like apparently crazy
Okay.
fast. Like for like the one prototype that they have for it.
I mean, one's more than half the companies out there.
Yeah.
Well, what's a hydrogen? How do you run a car off of hydrogen? What does that even mean?
Don't have too much background on that, but I think that they run on hydrogen, but they essentially like
It's just replacing the fuel?
I think they like burn
Hydrogen?
Yeah, they burn hydrogen.
Oh.
But like the only byproduct would be essentially like water. So you just get like H2O, like regular water.
Like steam.
Yeah, you would just get like steam as your
Steam
like.
engines are making a comeback.
Yeah, man.
Wait, that's crazy.
Yeah, you just get some like steam as like the byproduct. So it's like a lot cleaner than like burning like just gasoline, you know?
It's probably more sustainable to burn just straight up hydrogen than, I guess, dead dinosaurs anyway. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
so how do you feel about these alternate powered cars?
I think it's good. I think we're supposed to move towards that direction, you know, make things more efficient. But yeah, man. I know that there's like some drawbacks to like how they like, so, like for example, like with like batteries. I know there's like some drawbacks to like how ethical it is.
Oh,
but,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, like
yeah,
the
yeah.
mining of the lithium. And
Yeah, that stuff
I've
is
heard about
crazy.
that.
So if it was like not as like bad as I've seen, like, you know, like I'd be like, yeah, let's go with the batteries, battery club. But yeah, man, it's pretty cool.
Okay,
pretty cool stuff.
So you're hanging out with the technology homies with the hybrids and electrics.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'd be done. Yeah, I could see some tuner cars coming out like later on.
Ooh, the I think it was Hyundai's
Yeah.
electric car that lets you shift in it.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I've seen it. They pump like fake engine noises into like the cabin.
It's hilarious, dude.
It's pretty cool from what I heard. So I know some people that driven it and they said it was like pretty like interesting, you know?
They change the sounds in there too. Like the different mode you're in changes the tone. And there's one that almost sounds like you're in like kind of like a Ferrari, because it gets like super high pitched and it like revs really high. I'm like, you're not revving at all. This is sick. Yeah, it really adds to like the experience of the drive. It's a cool one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, cool stuff coming out right now.
Yeah, I'm excited for just engineering in general. Yeah, Koenigsegg, you've heard of them, right?
Yeah,
The Super Eggman with the hypercars that are amazing.
Yeah,
they've got probably the coolest combustion engine in the world. A 3-cylinder busting out 600 horsepower or something.
That's crazy.
I feel like combustion's not gone, dude. Maybe there's a chance.
Yeah, no, combustion's definitely like tried and true, you know?
Yeah. There's all these like new hybrid techs coming out or like options for it. And I feel like no matter how hard they push, unless they start pushing like really hard and they're like, hey, double the price for the regular engines, we're still going to have like, or at least I'm going to be down for like
it's combustion
engine instead. Yeah. It just sounds cool. I like
it does. Yeah. Yeah. No, I know Jay Leno right now is like doing something with like the laws right now, like in Sacramento. He's like I guess they're trying to get the like so the age of smog or the year that you're supposed to smog your cars. So before 75, you don't have to smog your car. Okay. But after that, you have to smog your car. So I think they're trying to change that so it's like a rolling number now. So it's
that
like
makes sense.
If it's like 25 years or older or something like that, you should be able to like, you know, like you
like
don't
a
have to
collector car type of thing instead.
Yeah, you don't have to like smog it anymore. It's pretty cool.
Imagine
that way
how
you can
many
see more
calls
classics.
would be, yeah, right?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty sick.
Dude, it'd be really sick. You see a lot more classics out on the street.
It's gonna be crazy if people start considering like an E39 M5 like from 2002 as a classic.
Dude,
that's the day I'll start crying.
Dude, it'd be crazy if you see like a 2000 Corolla automatic, like
yep,
that as a classic.
It's like the Prius starts becoming a classic.
Dude, that's insane.
That's dangerous. That's how you know we'll be getting old. Yeah, speaking of getting old.
Yeah. Back pains?
Huh?
Back pains?
I think I've had those since I was like 12 or something.
Damn.
But yeah, let's say I'm a high schooler, right, Raffa?
All right.
I'm you. I love cars. Awesome stuff. I'm kind of scared of engineering. Cause like I heard there's lots of math, and I'm not like the best at math. I can do math. I passed algebra. Geometry was a little scary, but algebra 2 was doable.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to me, man? Like, should I even go to engineering? Is it worthwhile? Should I do mechanical engineering?
I think so. I recommend engineering to anybody, to be honest. anyone with average intelligence could get it done. It's a lot of work that takes like, you know, yeah, you got to do some math, but like, go through your calculus and then like your algebra and all that stuff. But a lot of the stuff like ends up being simpler once you're actually like doing it. You just got to learn so many new things.
All the theories and stuff.
Yeah, you got to learn so many new like things at once, and that's kind of what makes it hard. It's not that you're just focusing on one thing all the time, but yeah, I just recommend someone who's like trying to start off in engineering to go like make a lot of friends, join clubs like ASME, like design projects. That is honestly where you get most of your knowledge from. Like actually like design, like working on stuff in teams. You learn how to work with people, and you learn a lot of the social like not so well yeah social skills that you can't learn through books. Yeah, obviously do good in classes too, but that's your when you're looking for internships and all that stuff, like your experience, your work experience comes from the projects that you have made. The stuff that other people haven't done, like that are going to school with you. That's what you have to show off. I would probably say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that advice. That's fantastic. How can I get that, dude? How do I join a project? Like, how do I get the most out of it? How did you get to where you're doing now?
You just got to look for what you want to do, like just look for things that, opportunities. Like I said, you have to look for the opportunities to do things. You have to look for those clubs. Once you're in the club, you have to like try to do all the like both the important work and the non-important work, but try to learn as much as you can. Don't like look at it as in like, oh, like the goal is to like get something out of it.
Have the checkbox.
Yeah, like the goal is to like learn as much as you can.
Yeah, so always pursue that knowledge. Okay.
Yeah, pursuit of knowledge.
And happiness among life?
Yeah, dude.
I heard happiness was a myth.
I mean, if you do engineering, it will be for like 4 or 5, 6 years.
No.
Yeah, but I mean, once you're out, then it's cool.
Life becomes way better when you don't have to do homework every single day.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, no, like school took my personality for a bit, and then I came out, and I was like, oh my god, I remember like I like doing stuff.
I know exactly what you mean. I got lost in the sauce.
Yeah, man. But
yeah,
short-term pain for long-term gain.
That's the goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Live a happier life at the end of the day, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Some people tell me that the best advice is the advice from someone who's already suffered through it.
All right.
We got the short-term gain for long-term gain idea. Now, how do I stay with my idea of building my tuner car to look like yours? Because I feel like I'm going to quit the second I need an oil change to do one myself, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
How do I start as a car fixer-upper guy?
As a car fixer-upper guy? Simple stuff. Oil changes. Well, first, set of tools. Buy some tools. You need the right tools for the job. But then YouTube is like free university. Just look up how to change my oil. Brakes are bad. How to change a tire. And then obviously like you got to get the tire off. So then you got to
step by step.
Yeah, then like eventually work your way to the brakes. But yeah, doing simple stuff and then just pushing your boundaries slowly. Having someone who knows like there is always like pretty good. That way you like they check your work, But
that'd be huge.
Yeah, that's also a pretty big important thing, having a mentor. But like in terms of engineering too.
That's true. That's true in like anything you're trying to learn about, like having someone who actually knows what's going on instead of just winging it the whole time is very nice.
Yeah, winging it will get you far, but you kind of gotta like have someone put you in check over here and there,
Mm-hmm. So you heard it here first, folks. If you need someone to help you fix your car, Raffa is offering his services.
Free of charge.
Free of charge, only $1,000 an hour. I've got you, don't worry.
All right.
We have a $5,000 down payment plan. I get half of that, so just route it to me. I'll make sure he's paid. Thank you very much for coming, Raffa. Is there
of course.
anything else you'd like to talk about before we end things off here?
No, just get the grind set on.
Here to hear first, but yeah, thank you very much for coming. It was sick talking to someone who knows what a scramjet was, because that's been bugging me all my life, and I'm too scared to Google things now.
Mm-hmm.
The AI has been tracking me really weirdly.
Hell yeah.
But it was a pleasure having you on. I look forward to talking to you in the future, maybe seeing what you do after with a Master of Engineering or whatever you're up to. That's actually a good question. What are you up to?
working,
Hell yeah.
living the dream.
Have a beautiful work time.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank
man.
you all for watching. Check out this video right here. And check out this gentleman if you want. He's going to be here for a solid 7 more seconds on the screen.